Jesse Alexander.
Jesse Warren playing like an MVP.
And oh my goodness!
And makes the play. Called strike three.
Oh, that's a laser double play. Aubrey Leach laying down the bunt. Not going to get her. Dangerous hitter here. Grand slam.
The best players in the world.
First pitch to Bubba swinging, and she does it again.
Welcome to the Series 3 draft. This is our last one of AUX. I'm your host, Savannah Collins. As always, we are hanging out in the Wichita Applebee's as we get ready to pick some teams. Before we lock in the first pick of the draft, let's look at how these captains made their way to the top. Starting off with Mariah Masson. She's going to be in the blue uniform this week. She has 860 leaderboard points and trails Jocelyn Allo, who's in first place by just 98 points. We'll talk a little bit about her performance last night in just a few as she's making her picks. This is her first time as a captain. Mariah, welcome to the captain's chair. For the Orange squad is Bubba Nichols. She was in that top spot last week. She was graduating, so we weren't able to see her in the captain spot, but she's back for Series 3. She has 896 leaderboard points. If you can tell, the leaderboard is really tight right now. She trails Jocelyn by just 62 points. She served as a captain during the championship season, but this is her first time during AUX. And then we have Jocelyn Allo. She's our only returning captain this series. She has 958 leaderboard points. Right now, she's 9 for 24. That's where a ton of her points are coming from, what she's doing at the plate. Okay, these are your teams. Blue, Masson, orange, Nichols, and gold is Allo again this week. As always, Blue Squad is locking in their pick first. Mariah, take it away.
Alyssa Denham.
Alyssa Denham is the first pick of the draft. So we're going to see things shake out a little bit differently this week because for the first time in the AUX season, we have a pitcher who's drafting her own team. That kind of changes everything. You know, last week we had all position players. We see how they lock in their pitchers early, but Mariah has an arm locked in within herself. She's teaming up with Alyssa Denham this week with her number one pick. A little bit about how Denham's been doing. She's a 2.44 ERA right now in a league where hitters have been so dominant. That is a great ERA, just kind of what we've seen this season of just the hitters have been so lethal. She's had 2 starts and 5 appearances. Okay, Bubba, who's your first pick for the Orange team?
Pitcher Taylor McQuillan.
Taylor McQuillan. I don't think that's any surprise there. You know, behind Masson, she is the best pitcher in the league right now. Last outing, she threw 3 innings, had just 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. She's a 3.04 ERA and is tied with Denham for the innings pitch leader with 23. Jocelyn, who's your first pick?
First pick, Taylor Edwards.
Taylor Edwards. So we're seeing 2 pitchers and a catcher go in this first round. Getting to be around Taylor Edwards in her dugout this week, you know, in Series 2 when she was leading her own team. I think if you've been her teammate, there's no surprise why she's a number 1 pick. She brings so much veteran leadership and experience to a team. Not only what she's able to do at the plate, you know, with her bat, but also what she's able to do behind it, calling games and really just being a force on a team of just being able to provide great veteran leadership. She manages a pitching staff so well. So maybe if Jocelyn's not getting a pitcher in this first pick, she is getting somebody who can manage them and put together a great game. So strong number 1 pick for Team Allo. Taylor McQuillan going to the Orange squad with Bubba Nichols. And then Mariah Masson starting things off with Alyssa Denham. Mariah, you ready for your second pick?
Tori Vidalis.
Tori Vidalis goes to the Blue squad. You know, last night, Tori is the one who really made things shake, not only for the gold team, but just on the leaderboard in general. If you were tuning in, she had the walk-off home run. She has been somebody who is so consistent at the plate all season long. You know, somebody who also brings the vibes too, as teams are trying to build chemistry quick in just 2 days of being together today and practice tomorrow. Tori Vidalis goes to the Blue team. Bubba, let us know who your next pick is.
Pitcher Kaylani Ricketts.
Kaylani Ricketts going to the Orange team. She had a really good outing last night. She threw 4 innings, had just 5 hits, only 1 earned run, a walk, 3 strikeouts. I think we saw one of our best outings so far in the season from Kaylani Ricketts last night. And anybody who was in that game or watching that game definitely noticed, including Bubba Nichols taking her second pick. Jocelyn, who's your next pick?
Pitcher Alicia Ocasio.
Alicia Ocasio going to this Gold team. Another one of those where we saw some bright spots last night. Just threw a couple of innings, but really had a ton of command. Got a lot of ground balls in her outing. We kind of saw that Alicia that I think that she's really known for as a pitcher, somebody who's going to make you get yourself out. So we're seeing the staff start to come together for Team Alo. That's her first pick when it comes to pitchers is Alicia Ocasio. No, we'd said we'd talk a little bit about how these captains got into their spots this week. For Mariah Masson, who is the next pick, she's a league best 1.40 ERA right now. She is the only pitcher in the league with an ERA less than 2. Her complete game shutout and Team Edwards 2-0 triumph during the first game of Wednesday's doubleheader is really what set things apart for her. 7 innings pitched, just 4 hits, 2 walks, a total of 116 pitches. It's the only complete game we've had that's a shutout by a pitcher in AUX history. And she's ready with her next pick. Actually, I think she went back to the draft board. We got a little bit more time to talk about why she's been so successful this season. You saw the complete game last night. I think the game that maybe should have been your indicator that things were going right for Mariah was on Tuesday, where she threw 6 innings. Her team didn't end up getting the win. She had struck such a strong outing that I think it was an indicator of what was to come for her in Series 2 and what helped push her to the top of the leaderboard in Series 3. Okay, Mariah, now let us know.
Jessie Warren.
Jessie Warren going to Team the Sun. Who you're seeing so far in this blue squad is Alyssa Denham, Tori Vidalis, and Jessie Warren. Those corners getting picked early for Mariah. Bubba, let us know who your next pick is if you're ready.
Catcher Jordan Redley.
Jordan Redley, one of the newcomers who I think has really made a name for herself in being able to call a great game behind the plate, goes to Team Nichols. And Jocelyn, let us know who your third pick is for the Gold team.
Montana Fouts.
Montana Fouts, another newcomer who has really made her name known and at the pro level, especially with Athletes Unlimited. She's had a couple really solid outings, especially her first one in Series 3 as she's getting established in this league. So you're seeing pitchers go early, a catcher with Taylor Edwards in the first pick, a couple corners there too, to this blue squad. As you're starting to get through these first couple rounds and pull these teams together. Ooh, good question. Does that mean Jessie Warren was on Team Blue all 3 series? I know she was in blue this past week. I'm pretty certain she was in blue Series 1, 2. I feel like there's a couple players that I just associate with colors, and I've always associated Jessie Warren with being in blue. I think she's worn that one more than ever. But that's a good fun fact that I need to look up. All right, blue team captain, start us off.
Catcher Kayla Koala.
Kayla Koala. Okay, so as we're looking at this Team Masson for the first time, I think you have to include Mariah when it comes to, even though she's not a pick herself as a captain, you've got 2 strong arms, 2 corners, and now the catcher starting to be established for this blue team this week. While we're talking uniforms, for everybody who's watching, I'd love to know what your favorite uniform is this season. Mine has single-handedly been the blue pinstripes. I know we've had pins before, but I especially like it with the black. That one has been my favorite. I would love to know which one y'all particularly like as we get ready to let Bubba lock in her next pick.
There's Sydney McKinney.
So I know we talked about it a little bit in last night's game is not only what Sydney McKinney is able to do with her bat, but also the fandom that she brings with her. You hear the crowd get excited and get on their feet when Sydney McKinney is up to bat, when she gets a hit, when she makes a great play. She's had so many different impacts that she's been able to bring on defense, offense, and then also kind of the uncontrollable, the fans that follow her too. A little bit of what Sydney McKinney's been able to do at the plate because it has been so impressive this season. She's 10 for 18. She has a 556 average, 571 on base percentage. And in those 18 ABs, she has not struck out yet. I think that is what maybe is flying under the radar right now about Sydney is no matter what, she's going to put the ball in play. And she's probably going to get on base too. She was on Team All last week. She is going to Team Nichols this week. Jocelyn, if you're ready for your next pick, let us know who it is.
Next pick, Hannah Flippin.
Hannah Flippin. 2 middle infielders in a row. This one going to the Gold Squad. Rounding out the 4th round is Hannah Flippin. Another one of those who's bringing a ton of experience. I think it's super interesting the way we've seen these drafts play out. Sometimes it's the middle infielders that are in super high demand early. This week, I would say it's been pitchers and corners especially. And we're ready to start off the next round. Mariah, take things away.
Middle infielder, Aubrey Leach.
Aubrey Leach going to Team Masson. Leach has been super successful not only at the plate, but in the base path too. She has been a pesky base runner this season. Steals, delayed steals too, just really getting in pitcher's head and making the defense work when she's in the base path. I think that's been a huge impact that may not always show up on the leaderboard that Aubrey's had this season. I know she's a great leader in a dugout too. She led a team in Series 1, was a big part of just always chatting, helping build lineups last week with her team, and just being somebody who's communicative and really helping her team come together. I think that's a big pick here in the 5th round to start things off for Team Masson. If you were tuned into last week's draft, you saw how we knocked things out in 30 minutes flat. I think that was our fastest draft of all time. Things are slowing down a little bit this week, though. I think that maybe could be expected as these captains are trying to lock in their Series 3 teams. There's a lot at stake with these picks because this is going to be the team that you finalize your place on the leaderboard with. And what we've seen so far, just kind of as the trend, is really even teams. Series 1, all 3 teams went 2-2. Same with this past Series 2. Orange team had the most win points total because of their inning wins, especially in that inning win sweep that they had yesterday. So they had 290 win points on the leaderboard. The gold team had 240. And then the blue team, Team Clark, had 190. So all 3 teams going 2-2. Really the only differential when it came to win points was innings. And Bubba Nichols is ready for her 5th pick. Go ahead, Bubba.
Corner infielder, Delaney Wiz.
Delaney Wiz going to Team Wiz. Somebody who's been so solid, so versatile, great at the plate too this season. Delaney Wiz, she'll be in an orange uniform this week. And Jocelyn's ready with her 5th pick too. Go ahead.
Good. Okay. Aaron Koffel.
Aaron Koffel going to this Gold Squad. We've seen so many newcomers really just establish themselves as pros, whether for the first time or maybe they played a couple years but are really getting to build their own fandom at Athletes Unlimited and just becoming comfortable in this system. Aaron Koffel stands out to me as one who has really done that in a super short amount of time. Okay, we're ready to start the 6th round. Mariah, take it away.
Middle infielder, Andrea Filler.
Andrea Filler going to this blue team. Someone that I particularly really like to talk to when I'm in the dugout. She always has such great insight. Someone that kind of was really neat for me to see have a really good batting practice before the series started. Get to hear some of the things that she worked on and then see her do them at the plate. I think that's one of my favorite things about my job is getting to see the things that the players are working on and then watch them executed at games from the dugout. I definitely think I always have the best seat in the house. And I know when it comes to Andrea Fuller, seeing her do that this past series was probably one of my highlights of the series. And we're ready with the sixth pick for Team Nichols. Bubba, go ahead.
Pitcher Peyton Gottschall.
Peyton Gottschall, one of those rookie pitchers who has really done a great job this season. Talk a little bit about her stats and how she's been able to do. Peyton Gottschall has only allowed 11 hits this season, thrown 11 innings. She's somebody who's really been able to keep those home runs low, something that these pitchers have struggled with a little bit this season. If you've been at games, the wind has been consistently blowing out almost every single game. It's a little bit shorter field than what we play on in Rosemont. That can have a huge impact. She's keeping her ERA to 3.09 right now. I think that's a super strong pickup here in the sixth round for Team Nichols. Jocelyn is ready with her next pick.
Center fielder Haley McClenny.
Haley McClenny going to Team Allo. Another week for her in the gold uniform. Halo is going to bring you a ton of experience, great chatter and communication from center field. She's going to be somebody who extends her at bats every single time. It's a huge way that she's able to contribute to a team, just getting to watch her stepping into the box, making a pitcher throw to her, extended ABs. That's a lot of pitches that are racking up her pitcher, and she's able to bring all that information back with her to the dugout, share that with her teammates. Again, one of those things that's not in the point system, but definitely is what makes somebody's draft stock high, what makes them a great teammate, a great hitter, is those intangibles that they're able to bring to a team. Haley McClenny is probably one of the best that I've ever seen do that. Just being able to talk and really pick the game apart. So as we get ready to start off the seventh round, about halfway through in this draft, let's take a look at who's left on the draft board. You can see pitchers still, a couple hanging out there. This is a little bit of a trend that we saw last week with pitchers really going high and then kind of waiting around for the next group to be picked as maybe these captains try to establish their infield. A lot of outfielders, just a couple catchers left, a handful of corner infielders too, only one middle infielder. And then the designated players, Nadia Taylor, Carly Spade are still on the board too because Jocelyn is in the captain's chair. If you were a captain for all of our fans watching, I'd love, based on this right here, who would be your next pick that you had to have as we get ready to go into this next round? Okay, Mariah, start things off for the seventh round for us.
I love you. Pitcher Maddie Penta.
Maddie Penta. So one of the few pitchers, aside from Mariah, who has not given up a home run yet. She doesn't have quite as many innings as some of the other pitchers. She has not given up a single bomb this season. I think that's something to note, as she's trying to get established in this league. Maybe ERA or other stats aren't exactly where you want it to be, but I think that's something that so few have been able to do so far this season, is not give up a lot of home runs. Okay, Bubba, your turn. Who's your next pick?
Outfielder Morgan Zirkle.
Morgan Zirkle going to Team Nichols. Right now, Zirk is the leader in stolen bases. She's 4 for 4. When it comes to attempts and reaching safely on a steal, she's 10 for 27. She's tied with Sydney McKinney as the league leaders in hits. They both have 10 so far this season. Jocelyn, go ahead. Let us know who your next pick is.
Pitcher Sarah Willis.
Sarah Willis going to Team Alu. You take a little bit of the staff that's starting to come together. Jocelyn started things off with her catcher. It's a little bit in reverse of what we've seen before, but I like the thinking. Locking in Alicia Ocasio, Montana Fouts, then coming back around here in the seventh round, picking up Sarah Willis. Not only the pitcher to go on this round, Maddie Pinta going to Team Masson here about halfway through this draft too. Sarah Willis has that nasty changeup that is so fascinating here to see. She was in college at UCF. That pitch had her highest strike rate. She throws it early. And if you're in the stadium and you're here watching games or watching on TV too, just fascinating to see how she can just totally slow things down. It's at a different pace. And when you're looking at some of the other pitchers on this team that maybe can really ramp up the feet speed, they have different stuff. The staff is coming together to have a lot of different pitches amongst the three. Okay, there are my comment section. I was wondering, I was like, does nobody have anything to say today? Mine just wasn't loading. So now I'm going to get to see what some of y'all are saying. Mackenzie Clark next pick. Another good prediction. Surprise, no one has taken Sarah Willis. Boom, there she goes. Sam Fisher has had some crazy battles to get on base. Agreed. Another one of those people just having quality at-bats. Oh, wow. Good fun fact, Eric. I appreciate you being able to follow that up for me. Jessie Warren has worn the blue jersey in all 6 of her AUX series of the last 2 years. That explains why I associate her with a blue uniform more than anybody else. I was wondering why I felt that way. All her pictures and highlights from AUX were in blue. Ooh, what was Leach's average last series? I will get on that because I'm also curious.
Catcher Jordan Roberts.
Jordan Roberts starts off the 8th round for Team Masson. She's locking in both her catchers now. Although I do want to note that we've seen Kayla Kowalik play a lot of different positions this season, and just what she's able to do, and being an athlete that's versatile can give their captain a lot of different options and where they want to put her. Jordan Roberts coming in, another one of those who has just gotten so much better year after year. I feel personal in that I got to watch her rookie season. We followed her in what was our going pro season of just hearing what she went through as a rookie and just trying to become an established pro. Now to see her now and see how she's trusted to call games, lead a bullpen. So cool seeing her go here in the 8th round for Team Masson. But Bubba Nichols is ready for her next pick. How about let us know who it is?
Designated player Nadia Taylor.
Nadia Taylor going to Team Nichols. If you were watching last night, I think that locking in this pick just goes to show how important timely hitting is for a designated hitter. Nadia Taylor being able to step into that game, having some really good at-bats, and then was able to tie things up for her team to extend it into the 7th. Tori Vidalis said, hey, no, we're into this game right now. That was just a huge moment for Nadia Taylor. Helped her pick up MVP points, obviously plus 40 on the home run too. It was a huge moment for her, I think, this season, and just really being able to set a marker of like, hey, this is where what I'm able to do, what I'm able to contribute. She's going to Team Nichols this week. All right, Leach was 7 for 14. I know we had some questions about that pick, 500 in Series 2. Led all players with 7 hits in the series. Okay, somebody's been watching to know why that was such a great pick and want the stats to back it up. I love seeing the trends and things that y'all are able to pick up on. Sometimes it's stuff that I don't see. And Jocelyn, go ahead and let me know who your next pick is. Jocelyn, will you repeat that pick for us? I think we didn't have you muted in time. Jocelyn, I'm going to have you give us that pick again. I don't think we had you unmuted, and I know everybody wants to hear it.
Corner Bailey Klingler.
Bailey Klingler going to Team Olo. I know we saw her say it, and everybody's like, wait, who was it? Bailey Klingler. That's going to Team Olo to round out the 8th round. Team Jordan Roberts, Nadia Taylor, Bailey Klingler. Just 5 picks left for these captains as they start to put their teams together. I agree. I also love seeing the designated players playing in positions, being all in right field, made my heart happy. I love that comment. I totally agree. Being a captain gives you the opportunity to put yourself where you feel you fit best. Seeing her right field, she had some big plays. Saw her really going after some foul balls last night too. Are you ready to start off this next round? Mariah, go ahead.
Outfielder Megan Wiggins.
Megan Wiggins, the vet, going to Team Masson. Somebody who put together some great at-bats over the series. Really good hitting, maybe even on those times where she didn't get on base, being able to barrel up balls. She's going to be a part of this blue squad's outfield this series. Okay, Bubba, who do you got?
Pitcher Hope Trotwine.
Hope Trotwine going to the Orange Squad. Somebody who I thought had a really impressive last outing. Had 4 innings pitched, gave up 5 hits, only 1 earned run, a single walk, and 2 Ks. There's anybody who's coming off of some momentum of really being able to put together a good outing in the pitcher position going into Series 3, I would say that's Hope Trotwine right now. I know I had some time to talk about Mariah and how she became a captain. I've had a ton of time to talk about Bubba. I would say the biggest thing for her is getting her points locked in with her at-bats. What I mean by that is really getting her money's worth every time she steps up to the plate. Being one of our home run leaders this season has been huge. Coming off of her week with Team Edwards, it stacked that with the win points. Because of clutch hitting, she's also picked up MVP points too. It's been a big part of her consistently being able to stay at the top this season has been her home runs for plus 40 instead of maybe a single that's plus 10. So even though it's important to be able to contribute to your team, when it comes to the leaderboard, being able to pick up extra bases when you're at bats matters. Okay, we're ready for our next pick. Jocelyn, go ahead.
Pitcher Odyssey Alexander.
Odyssey Alexander going to the Gold Squad. Another pitcher on this staff. Good question. Why is Jocelyn Allo picking third when she had the most points? So our draft basically works backwards from who's leader. It's changed over the years. If you remember season 1 when Kat Osterman was consistently in the gold jersey and had the number 1 pick, she almost always blocked in Gwen Fekis. But to even things out, in theory, that if the gold team captain is the best player in the league because they're number 1 on the leaderboard, then it should flip the other way, that the person who's third or maybe not performing as well or as strong as that number 1 pick should get to even things out by going in the opposite direction. So starting with third place with the 3rd pick, then going to second, then going to first. So that's why. We did used to have a snake draft. That's what might have you all confused. We switched it up here at AUX. We're constantly trying to have parity for our captains and for our players. It's another adjustment that we're trying out this season. Okay, Mariah, start off the 10th round.
Outfielder Kaylee Harding.
Kaylee Harding going to Team Masson. I saw someone in the comments surprised that she hadn't been picked yet. I would agree. She's another one of those players who's one of our hit leaders. We have Sid and Zerk, who are the only athletes to have hits in the double digits with 10. There's a lot of athletes hitting around 7, 8, 9 hits so far this season. Kaylee Harding is one of them who's been consistent, been able to get on base and have a solid average, and is also an outfielder who's bringing a ton of speed. Another one of those who can be pesky in the base path and really challenge. Bubba, who's your next pick?
Catcher Haley Lee.
Haley Lee going to Team Nichols. Okay, I'm going to come back to this draft conversation because I can see we're still talking about it in the chat. I would argue that this is more fair because in my thinking what that would be is if Jocelyn Allo was in gold last series and is still in gold, then there are things that are making her teams even. And I think it really goes to show in that all of the teams have gone 2-2 so far this season. So in terms of records and having competitive games, having almost no blowouts, all of the scores being back and forth, multiple walk-offs, some extra inning games too, I would say that this might be our best draft strategy so far, in that every single series, every team has gone 2-2 at AUX. Now we might switch things up at champ season, we'll see. But data shows that these are some of our most competitive, most evenly matched rosters that we've ever had. And that's also credit to the captains. We're able to put together some really impressive teams. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox. Jocelyn, who's your next pick?
Outfielder, Mackenzie Clark.
Mackenzie Clark, I saw a couple of y'all looking for her in the chat. She is going to Team All of this week, has had some crazy plays on defense. She was a captain last week, got to step into that role for the first time as a rookie. This week, she'll be playing in gold. All right, we're ready to start off the next round. We lock in these last couple picks. Mariah, who's yours?
Outfielder, Jalen Elchin.
Jalen Alchin going to Team Masson, another one of our rookies coming from UCLA this season. She'll be playing in blue, a familiar color to her this week. Bubba, as you're thinking about your next pick, I also need you to start thinking about the umbrella hats because we've got some people asking for them. Those will be a part of you being a captain this week. So Bubba just dropped out of frame because she's leaning over to talk with her facilitator, MJ. You know, no matter where you go in this draft, it's a big impact on how these teams function, what you're able to bring. You're still going to get playing time, and that's why things are slowing down, and it's important no matter where we are in the draft board for these captains. Bubba, let us know your next pick.
Outfielder, Riley West.
Riley West going to Team Nichols, another one of our rookie outfielders this season who's done so well, not only on defense, but also just being able to get in this groove and establish herself on offense too. She's going to the Orange Squad, and we're ready to find out who Jocelyn's next pick is too.
Corner, Sam Fisher.
Sam Fisher going to Team Allo, wearing gold yet again. Another one of those athletes that I associate with a color. I feel like Sam has worn gold a ton throughout her AU career. She's somebody who's played the hot corner so well. Got to see her play a little bit of first base. First time I've seen Sam over there in a while. And how her team shook out. She had Jessie Warren on her team, so Jessie was playing a lot of third, and she was playing first base. She did it well, just being able to be where her team needed her in the field. This week, she's going to Team Allo. Okay, Mariah, who's your next pick?
DP, Carly Spade.
Carly Spade going to Team Masson. One of our home run queens, Jocelyn and her are the only players in NCAA history with more than 100 career home runs. She's picked up a couple this season as a pro. She'll be playing with Team Masson in blue this week. Bubba, let us know who your next pick is too.
Corner infielder, Kelsey Stewart-Hunter.
Kelsey Stewart-Hunter, my star from last night on the Gap Show. She did such a good job. I hope you all listened in. She had so much wisdom as a vet in this league, and she's going to be joining this Orange Squad this week. Another one of those players. I know I've mentioned it a lot today, but I think it matters in this AUX season of having quality at-bats. She picks up a ton of walks. She always finds a way to get on base. She's going to the Orange team this week. Now we're going to find out from Jocelyn who the next person going to the Gold Squad is.
Next pick, catcher, Julia Cottrell.
Julia Cottrell going to Team Allo with the 12th pick for this squad. These teams are starting to shake up. I know we have another pick about to come in, but I always love to ask you all, the fans watching, is who do you think has the strongest team going into this week? We've seen them be 2-2. We've seen how those inning points have really been the thing that has mattered most this season. We're going to round out with the 13th pick. Mariah, start us off.
Pitcher, Alex Storako.
Alex Storako going to Team Masson. That completes their pitching staff. Bubba, who's your next pick?
Middle infielder, Billy Andrews.
Billy Andrews going to Team Nichols. And Jocelyn, finish off your team here.
Final pick, Morgan DeBoer, baby.
Morgan DeBoer going to Team Allo. These are your Series 3 teams for our captains, Team Masson, Team Nichols, and Team Allo as we finish out the AUX season. So Series 3 starts on Saturday. June 22nd, Team Alo versus Team Masone at 12 CT, 1 ET. And then right after, it's going to follow up with Team Nichols versus Team Masone. So this Orange Squad is playing the doubleheader first. Thank you so much to our captains for locking in these picks, our fans for tuning in, and also especially the Wichita Applebee's, Dave in particular, who has just been so good to us all season long, keeping us well fed, letting us come here and hang out. I know you guys see me and the captains. We also have some of our players this season here coming in to eat lunch. They've taken such good care of us, and it's been really cool to have a new venue for the draft this season. Thank you all for tuning in all season to our draft. We will see you at championship season, but before we can do that, we have to finish out AUX and crown a champion. We'll see you on Saturday for the games. Thanks for tuning in.